Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Nerds, One Game. In this episode, we're going to be talking about console or PC. So we're going to go over the perks of both, the downsides of both, and then if we have time, we'll talk about the differences between Xbox, PlayStation, and desktop and laptops. So yeah, do you want to start?
Okay. First off, the benefits of console. Console benefits, let's say, for example, your friend is coming over. If they were PC gamers, then they'd have to bring their entire setup over with them. Obviously, if it's a laptop, that may be a bit easier, but if it is a desktop, it would be very complicated.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be practically impossible. Unless you take a lot of time to set it up.
But with console, you could just bring a spare controller, and if they have a console, you could just have fun and play video games without having to
without the hassle of plugging everything up, using headphones and everything. So that immediately just makes console side a lot better. On the other side, though, if you're playing online with your friend from a distance, or not living in the same household.
PC is better because you don't have to pay for Xbox Gold or something like that.
PC online connection is free. And so that's what makes the consoles a bit of an advantage for the consoles.
It's because the consoles, they just are very much more portable. And also, let's talk about price. The latest PlayStation 5 costs I think around $500, but a good PC would cost you in the range of the 4,000s.
Yeah, a good PC to even run similar graphics, and that's one reason consoles they're a lot more affordable than if you were a hardcore PC gamer. Of course, if you were pretty hardcore and if you maybe streamed it or recorded it and got money off of it, then maybe PC would be a good investment.
But if you're just a casual gamer, the PlayStation 5 is way more than you need. It's perfect. But there are some downsides because let's just talk about the setup altogether. For desktop, you need a kind of small display, a mouse, a keyboard, and a PlayStation. And a computer. But if you're talking about let's say console setup,
it's really simple. You just need a TV screen that you most likely already have. The console, which you would have bought for $400, $300, depending on what it is.
Yeah, depending.
And the controller, which would be extremely cheap.
No, controllers are $80.
Maybe up to 80. Yeah, sure. But that's
that's very expensive.
Much cheaper than buying headphones, which you could buy.
Yeah.
But headphones, a mouse, and a keyboard. And
for me personally, I got all my shit for free. I stole Swift Killer's mouse. I got free headphones from one of my sister's friends who was throwing them away. And honestly, they're not that bad. He just got better headphones and he said he didn't need them anymore. So yeah, that's just... Also, the perks of PC gaming is that you can play with... Well, actually, we already went over that point. But
online play is easier and...
you can play... There's a bigger variation of games.
Yeah, but when we mean this, actually, this applies for kind of both sides, because for console games, there are more AAA exclusives, right?
Yeah,
for example, if you enjoyed...
Black Ops Cold War, for example.
Yeah, that came out first in the...
PlayStation.
Yeah, and also... But this applies for PC too, and it's not only a console benefit, because in PC also there are indie games, or there are lots of different indie games that...
Especially on Steam.
Yeah, on Steam, and not just Steam. There are other stuff too. For example, the Blizzard launching app, and there's Epic Games. You can use a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it really varies for both sides. But again, if you're mostly you like playing remasters of older versions and stuff like that.
Yeah. Then go for PC, because PC has more remasters, and it also has mods. You can download mods and stuff. Also, PC is slightly better because. You are able to, how do I say this? With PCs, you're able to just plug in a controller and play like a console. But with consoles, you can't just plug in a keyboard, as far as I know.
Yeah, and also that's kind of cheating because most other people have a controller, and keyboards are drastically easier to use.
In my opinion, I like controllers more. I like controllers more because you can track better, but you can't really turn fast with a controller. So, I mean, it has its ups and downs, but honestly, I like tracking more than flicking my mouse around at 400 miles an hour.
Okay, well, clearly me and Hemi share
Different ideas.
Opinions.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but in general, I mean, most people would agree, hopefully, that using a mouse is, or at least being good at a mouse, or aiming, you don't need to flick, but just using a mouse in general would be so much easier. Or when you look at your gameplay, it would still be, in general, better than when you use a controller.
Also, one more thing. Most, like, console games cost quite a bit of money because, like, for example, any video game that you buy a disc will probably cost you more than $30 no matter what, or else it won't be on a disc. And that's kind of a downside because on PC, you can buy pretty decent indie games for like $20.
Yeah, obviously, this is getting better now because more and more consoles are starting to download things over just
internet. But then
over internet. Yeah.
Also, downloading things over internet, you have to pay for a premium for that, I think, and also it takes so much longer than just plugging in the disc.
And so, one more reason that the PC would be actually a lot better is that
downloading speeds aren't like long.
Well, not really that, because that really depends on your Wi-Fi. But the thing is, if you have a computer, if you buy just a really beefed out computer, it'll work out for the next 10 to 12 years, depending on how good it is.
But consoles,
console, they just keep releasing newer and newer versions.
Well, I mean, they release it once every 2 or 3 years, which on a PC,
still, if you're not like that much of a hardcore gamer, or this applies for both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
If you're not that much of a hardcore gamer, you could just buy a cheap PC.
Well,
live with that. But if you are or if you're a really hardcore gamer, then you could buy a really beefed out PC and work it, like stay with it for 12 years. And
look at me. I still enjoy playing on the original on the original Xbox. And me and Swift-Killer always play Call of Duty every time we meet up, except this time because we didn't have time because we were recording and re-recording the same shit over and over. Yeah. So that's pretty much like why PCs they're good on the long term, but consoles sometimes will last longer than PCs. Also, as far as I know, you can't just take apart your console and upgrade some parts. Yeah, you can't just take apart a console and upgrade some parts. But on a PC, it's almost like Lego. You get a motherboard. Oh, I want more graphics. Add more graphics cards. Oh, I want more RAM. Add more RAM. Like it's very, very customizable to your preference. Yeah, but with a console, you just get the disc version, don't get the disc version, and that's about it.
Yeah, and when we mean customizable, it's not just with RAM and stuff. You can also change in-game settings like a lot. You could overclock your computer. You could keep it how it was.
I think you can also overclock the PlayStation, but it's...
Well, yeah, that's a newer feature, but that's not for all the consoles, so it wouldn't really apply yet.
But we're talking about, like, PlayStation and premium consoles like that.
Okay. Well, I guess in that sense, yeah, you can. But then again, like, PlayStation has two settings. You can either have 4K at 60 FPS, or 1080p with, like, 120 hertz. I believe that's what it was. Or ray tracing.
Oh, also, let's talk about how they look. Because... you can buy, like, basically a box in whatever shape you want and just throw a PC in there. Like, hell, you can get this giant, cool-looking box and just put the crappiest PC in there. You can customize everything about it. Like, you can add LED strips, you can change the lighting, you can change how it's arranged for better cooling and stuff like that. You can add water cooling, and as far as I know, consoles don't have water cooling. So, I mean... if you want a more permanent, if you're already into gaming and you want a more permanent setup, get a PC. If you're new to gaming, then get a console because they're generally cheaper and they will still be really fun to play.
Yeah. So one final thing before we wrap it up about PCs, and the reason we think the PC is the winner, or just some main reasons really, is that PC, you can just get one really good one and survive or be in the top of the leaderboard. Well, depending, as long as you have the skills.
Like in the top.
If you just get a beefy computer and you're fine, it'll last you at least 10 to 12 years, depending on how good the computer is.
And how you treat it. How you treat it. Treat your computer nice, kids. Don't abuse it. Don't overclock it.
Yeah, and also, if you have a console, you can't use that for other stuff. But if you have a computer, you can use it for study.
Actually, the Xbox is meant to like play Netflix and shit like that.
Yeah, but let's be honest, who's actually gonna use?
Yeah, who's actually gonna use an Xbox?
No one's gonna do that.
They're just gonna use like their smart TV.
Yeah, that's why it's so much better to just not just Netflix, but you can do like work, like if you're a student going to college or whatever.
But who uses their Xbox as a PC?
Exactly, but you can use your PC as a PC.
Or an Xbox.
If you're an Xbox user, oh yeah, that too. If you're an Xbox user, you're going to inevitably have to have a PC. But if you're a PC user, you already have a PC. If you understand what I'm getting to.
Well, I mean, if you want bang for buck, get a console. If you want just something that'll last you years and will be pretty decent, get a PC. Okay, so this is we just wanted to add quickly at the end. This is our opinion. Of course, you can have your own preferences. You can have your own ideas. We're not telling you what to buy, but we're just recommending. And if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want, leave your opinions in the comments and have a war. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't overclock your PC, don't abuse it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.